So welcome back, drifters. It's been a little while. So as you can probably tell by now, I can actually walk around the garage. Something I haven't been able to do in a very long time. But there's been a lot going on around here. Like, let me show you what happened to my truck. So I got this nice little present from somebody. I'm not sure who did it. They just kind of hit my truck and left it, not realizing all the work that went into replacing this bed. So now I'm here with a busted bumper, a taillight, and a whole new bed that I need to get. So that's happened. I finally managed to bring the RX-7 back home. I still got the BMW just chilling. The only problem is I need coils. So I also took some time to go play this game. It's called Among Us. I'm sure you've heard of it by now. It's a lot of fun. Ooh, here we go, here we go. Well, time to go on a murder spree. Slice. There we go. Good job. That's what we want. We're just luring this guy to death. Boom. Okay, someone found the body. Oh, yeah. That's how we do it. So, yellow, question mark. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, they fell for it. They're dead. It's over, we won. That's it, game. GG. Pink was trying to get me to get him and he didn't. We just speed run the hell out of that. Yep, that's how you do it with randoms. But it's just one of those things I like doing to kind of help break up my ideas and come up with new ideas, especially when I'm stumped like how I have been over the past couple weeks. So I ended up taking a small break from YouTube, from filming, from working on the cars, because I needed it. I was getting really burnt out. I've been putting in a lot of time on all these things over the past couple years, and when Austin left, it just kind of took me down to the point where I needed time off. I needed time to get my head straight. I needed time to make sure I knew what I was going to do and that I could come up with a solid plan for content in the future. Because I'm not going anywhere. I have plans for what I want to do, but I needed a break, and so I took it. But the good news is I have a plan. So what I'm going to do today is start working on the Mustang. I'm going to basically start fixing some of the areas near where we're going to be putting in the torque box. There's a couple spots that got holes and stuff, so we're going to need to patch those up. And that's my main goal for today. If we can do that, then we're doing pretty good. So I guess without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is part of the frame rail that we're going to be fixing today. You can see that there's this nice big old hole that's not supposed to be there. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole in that, and then we're going to basically cut this sheet metal into the shape, and then weld it back into place. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is. So let's get started cutting. Tell you what, sometimes I forget just how useful it is to use the right tool. I gotta stop acting like such a tool sometimes and forgetting that I have the right tools. Anyway, we got that piece off, and now all we gotta do is clean it up, wire brush it, and then we gotta form the new metal and weld it in. And well, now that I'm thinking about it, we got a lot more to do than I originally thought. So I guess I just gotta get to work. Alright, that's one down. So I might be a little stubborn. It took me a while to figure out that this metal was just a little bit too thick. So guys, it's been quite a while since that last clip. I have been messing around with this. I am no metal worker at all. I suck at body work, and I'm trying to get better at it. And I've been just really struggling. And I was using this piece of metal, and I got it into a pretty decent shape. But that piece under there is a little bit different. The problem is this metal was just too thick, and I was having such a hard time getting it to fit properly, shaping it and bending it, and I'm telling you, I wasted so much time on that. So what I ended up doing was I just cut up a piece of my floor pan, the old one, since it's the same gauge metal, and then I formed it in the right piece, and oh my god, it is so much easier when you have the right thickness metal, because it's like, I think it's between 18 to 20 gauge metal, and it just makes it so much easier to work with. That was 16 gauge. It was just way too thick. So yeah, I managed to get a piece, and it looks pretty good. Let me show you. Okay, so this is a piece of the old floor pan, as you can tell, because it's all rusty. I'm going to end up cleaning that up when we're done. But I managed to get it to bend and fit a heck of a lot better. I mean, it was so much easier to get in there to fit, and now we have a much tighter fit in there when we go to weld it. Now, ideally, this would be a perfect match, but if you look here, you can see that this thing's been all banged up through the years from being jacked up and stuff like that. Luckily, this piece here is the actual part of the frame that's really strong, and that's what's really going to be doing all the support. But we're going to put this here just to kind of help strengthen it, because the torque box is then going to weld to this. So it's going to go across here and then over to this side here. So it is important that this piece is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically get this as close as I can. I'm going to clamp it on there, and then we're going to run a little bit of prep on there, do some paint, and yeah, we should be able to just shoot it up. So I got to tell you, I've been really struggling with working on this thing. I don't know what it is, if it's just because the garage and being in here without Austin and just doing all this stuff by myself, doing stuff I haven't done before. It's been a real struggle for me to get in here and do this one little piece. I don't know why, it's just been like really messing with my head. And I'm hoping that once we get this thing in there, then maybe I'll have a little bit more motivation to really start finishing this thing up. Because a lot of the rest of the stuff isn't as finicky as this particular piece was for me. And I'm hoping that the things I learned from here I can take forward in the next part. But yeah, it's been rough. And I'm sorry it's been such a slow upload, but man, it's just one of those things. Sometimes I'm just not feeling great, and I gotta do what I gotta do to keep my mind right, you know? But you know, one thing about this whole thing is that I think it's just because this whole like quarantine thing, we've all been on lockdown, everybody knows. The big thing that sucks about it is when you're alone, you know, and at least before I always had my brother around, so it was at least something. But now it's just me, and it's just like, I mean, I haven't had a girlfriend in forever, probably at least 5 years. And yeah, it just sucks when you're single like that, especially during this lockdown. I'm sure some of you single people know what I'm talking about. I mean, you know, there's only so many holes I can drill here that are made of metal. Oh man, did not mean to do that. Oh boy. Thank goodness this stuff is soft. Whew. Luckily I should be able to fix that pretty easy. Okay, so yeah, so I was able to fix it. You could see how easy it was for me to bend this thing, because it was all out of whack. I accidentally grabbed it with the end of the wire wheel, but you can see this is basically fresh metal now. So luckily this is going to be good for putting on some paint. I might use some sandpaper just to rough it up a little. But yeah, we're just going to put some weld-through primer on here just to make sure that it's going to be nice and good. That way we don't have any rust getting sealed underneath where these two things are going to be connecting. Because anywhere that's like that, moisture could get in there and we could have rust. Or at least that's what I've been told. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now I'm just going to spray this thing off with some brake cleaner, make sure we get all the oil and grease off of it. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, we'll just let this thing dry a bit, that way we can go ahead and put the paint on. So the stuff I'm using is by U-Pole. It's a Weld number 2, it's a copper spray paint. It's literally designed just to be weld-through primer. And it's just to keep it from rusting in between the two coats. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to coat that on the inside and outside just because, and then we're also going to coat down where we're going to weld. So let's get to it. And no, that's not rust, that's just copper. So the most important thing here that we need to do is this part here, the part that's going to be in between the two metals. That's what we want to have primer, because that's what we're not going to have access to after we get done. So that's what we're going to do. Let's just give it some weld primer and see how she do. Okay, we'll let that one coat dry, and then we'll do another one. Let's say we give her another coat there, bud, eh? I say it looked pretty good there, bud. So guys, while we wait on that paint to dry, I just gotta come in here and eat my food. But I wanna let you know that even though I haven't been uploading lately, one of the big things I wanna start doing too is a little bit more fitness-oriented stuff as well, because this car stuff's taken me a long time to do, and if I ever wanna release videos on a pretty regular basis, I'm gonna need to do fitness stuff to kind of supplement it, because it's just a little bit simpler to create and I do it every single day. Like if there's one thing that I consistently do, it's eat, sleep, and work out. So I mean, very soon I'm gonna start going over some of this fitness stuff, especially because it's coming into wintertime, which means it's bulking season, but I tend to do it a little bit more healthy, not like the dirty bulk. I don't believe in that, but I'll go over that in a different video. Anyway, my point is that I'm gonna be doing more fitness stuff, so I hope you enjoy that stuff, and if not, I'm sorry. Hopefully somebody out there will. All right, so now I'm just gonna line this sucker up and then clamp it on. There we go. Okay, so now it's clamped on there. I'm gonna do a couple little tacks. We're gonna make sure it's fitting properly, and then we'll just stitch around it. Basically just gonna do one little spot at a time and just kind of go for broke. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got it tacked on there. Basically, we just need to let this cool off a little bit because I don't want it to warp too much. And then I'll just start stitching around it and try to get it to fit in there nice. I may have to hammer it in a few spots just to make sure it's level, but we'll get her done. Okay, so I ran into a little bit of a problem. My helmet, for whatever reason, it's not transitioning to the darkness quick enough, and it's really messing with my eyes. Like, there's like that split second where I'm getting basically blinded, and I'm trying to close my eyes, but I can't get it to line up right. I'm missing my spots, and it's not doing well, so I'm just gonna call it for tonight. I did plenty of work on this thing, and it's tacked on there, so I'm gonna count that as a win. So, I mean, at least it's on there. It's not pretty. I still got a lot of work to do. I got some grinding and welding to do, but it's a little bit laid out, so I kind of got to call it right here. So at least we got it in there. It may not be perfect, but it's at least tacked up. I'll finish the welds and grinding later. I won't be able to do it tonight because obviously it's a little bit late, so you know, it is what it is, but we got some stuff done. I'm finally back. I'm going to try to be a lot more consistent than I have been over the last 2 months. That's for darn sure. So, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Oh, and just remember, keep it nice and easy, okay? See ya. So get this, I was cleaning out my shed and I found an old N64 I had, but check out the game that I found inside it. Yeah, now that's a classic. So who knows, I may end up streaming that one day, just because I think that might be a fun game to play through for all those that are into the old school games. So we'll see.